Vishnu Dal Dieb. May the stars guide you. I am listening. Be careful. I am honored. Del Nadris.
recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. I can't cast that yet. Still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. Still recharging.
bless you. What brings you here?
It's too far away. It's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. I don't have a target. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. Still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. out of range. Still recharging. Isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. Can't carry anymore. I need to get closer. I can't cast that yet. Inventory is full. That's still recharging. Cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. Inventory is full. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. Still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I'm out of range. I can't cast that yet. The spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. recharging. Can't cast that yet. Still recharging. Spell isn't ready. I can't cast that yet. Still recharging. I can't cast that yet. It is too far away. I can't carry anymore. I'm out of range. That spell isn't ready yet. Inventory is full. Cast that yet. It is too far away. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
And you've got go through Ubers.
Yeah.
Both are their own challenges because Ubers, I don't know, can you know how this is going to hit? Like, are the servers going to reset, or are they just going to magically make it
No,
available?
it's going to be a live drop as far as I've heard, like Dire Maul was.
So you can be in Ubers at the gate, ready
Yes.
to go and zone in. I mean, do you think that could you do that? Because
Well, you could if you the super safe strategy in quotes is clear 4 different Ubers at the
Right.
same time, and then
Right,
have
and
everyone drop group
and
and
then
so on.
have just run in there and then just do mass invites.
But then you run into the problem of the ticking of your world bus, which is something we haven't even discussed, which is probably another huge
especially
topic.
with the Songflower, because that's only 1 hour, so that's a lot smaller of a window to be able to get that in.
I think I think it'll just have to line up. Like the one of the number 1 guilds who clears first is going to be one of the guilds whose faction controls the mountain, and so that they could just run in.
That's a real risk,
Yes.
though. That's a real risk. So I don't know, like, for these guilds, I know for the Scarum that it's horde heavy, so Onslaught probably wouldn't have as much of an issue, but what about the others? Are they like Gehenna's? Is that well, you've got Dream State?
Salad Bakers, Gehenna's, I believe they'll probably have control of the Mountain Alliance, and Firemaw, Progress kind of runs that server, so they'll have people there.
It'll be interesting to see. That's going to be a major factor.
Yo, Vale just gets fucked up, dude. Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Goes down quick.
Vale gets fucking global, man. Poor Vale. F's in the chat for Vale. This is...
Yeah, all the top guilds... All the top guilds will do what we call the Vale tank skip, which is where the first tank does not get the burning adrenaline. So you have to kill the boss. I think it's like everyone has to average like 800 DPS or something like that.
Look at this, man. I just rewinded. I think it'd be kind of cool to go through this speed run together and kind of just watch it and like comment on it. It's kind of... I think that'd be useful. People can get a look at what the bosses actually look like. And stuff. Again, we're watching Vanguard, so maybe we'll rewind it back to the start and actually watch it. I'm going to drop a straw poll in the chat, guys. Thanks again for tuning in, for everyone tuning in now. Just now, we had a little bit of an influx. We are doing live coverage of the Blackwing Lair Race to World First, and Blackwing Lair does come out in an hour and a half, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just about an hour and a half now.
Hour and a half. Okay, so we're creating the poll. The question is, World First BWL, here's some of the top picks. Dream State, Progress, Salad Bakers, Reign, Apes, and Onslaught. I don't think anybody is going to think you're smoking something strong if you would have your pick on one of these guilds. So I'm going to drop the straw poll in the chat. Guys, let's see it. Show some love to your favorite guilds out there.
And this isn't the end-all be-all. There are absolutely other guilds who have good shots.
Yeah, it's open to anybody, honestly.
Too, like you're discussing the mountain and who's going to control it, and if one of these guilds runs into trouble or something bad happens, or there's another group out there that's like, oh man, well F those guys, and they purposely try to do something to kill off half the raid, they lose buffs, or any number of things could be a factor.
I do want to point out Salad Bakers is very, very low on the poll. For those who don't know, Salad Bakers is a private server guild. They own the #1 and #2 all-time Naxxramas full speed clear records. They cleared all 15 bosses in Nax in an hour and 6 minutes.
Also, Scarm was their main tank, right, for a little bit. Shout if you like Scarm.
He was one of their main tanks. He played with them on privates, but I will say their main tank was a guy named Myosin, who I think is probably the best warrior to ever touch a keyboard. So
yeah.
They are not shy. They are not shy. Their mage core is very good too. I don't think they're out of the race at all, even though they're much lower on the poll.
So yeah, the thing is like, this is honestly anybody's game. If somebody loses even 5 minutes getting into BWL to get it organized, that could be the difference between winning and losing. I mean, it's just really hard to say. You know, maybe a server even goes down randomly. Like, it's, you know,
that would be the worst. If you're ready, and then, like...
Yeah, I mean, like, who's going to say this is going to just roll out real silky smooth? Like, the MC one had a whole week for everybody to be doing their leveling and everything else, you know, that there was not going to be an issue with that kind of thing. But this, like, soft patch release potentially could just melt this whole thing down.
Yo, there's some love for you.
Like, a lot of people are...
Razorisk in the chat, dude. Shaman, he just mentioned it.
Oh,
Razorisk is the big word from Salad Makers.
Razorisk, yeah.
You know him too, that story?
No. Razorisk was in, for a while he was in Scuba Cops, aka Scuba Dads.
You mean Taladrill was also in there too, right? Weren't you?
No, it was pre-Scuba Cops. He was in Blacklisted with me in Delrius.
They were on Herod. Scuba Cops were on Herod for a little bit, but they transferred off. It's an OG, old and private server.
Yep.
Scuba Cops.
But did you want to? Did you kind of want to go through this?
I do. I want to. First, though, I want to see how this poll shapes out, and then also I want to get your guys' top picks on this. So, if you had to gun to your head for some unknown reason, I know it's not everyone's super into the PvE, but if you had to be a betting man, save your family from a burning house fire, you know, who would you bet on to take it?
I'll throw it out. I'm going to say Progress.
All right, I got to agree with him.
I don't think it's going to be Apes. I think
I'm definitely going with Progress as well.
I still got this toss-up. Like, I said Apes initially, and a lot of people in the straw poll seem to think that. But after the discussion, I mean, that makes my opinion falter a little bit. And you know, I would. It's tough. That's tough. I mean.
You can say Blackout if you want. You can say
yes, it's gonna be TV now.
I think
it's gonna be our deal. We're not doing it till tomorrow unless some kind of.
I think a lot.
Cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That's still recharging. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. Can't cast that yet. I need a target. Inventory is full. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Into a instance, a raid instance, it would wipe all your world buffs. Which I know a lot of people really like that as like a middle ground. So for the progression races, you wouldn't be able to use world buffs. Obviously, we haven't seen that.
Chat. Let's see if you guys love or hate world buffs. We'll see. So it appears on that when we're talking about the crowd favorite, by an overwhelming majority, I mean over double, the crowd favorite is apes. I think the apes marketing, the apes marketing department goes hard, man. Like they got some flashy PvP.
Yeah, dude, it's Monkey News and XN and Flexity. Like,
is Tribe in there?
I forgot. They have a lot of big streamers, and just by getting World First Molten Core, a lot of people see that and they just think they're the favorites, you know?
Yeah, Apes is a lot of people like Apes. I shout out the Onslaught though. A good amount of people, voting for Onslaught. Let's see that. That's cool, man. Rain, 3 votes. All right. Well, let's see what the outcome of this world buff poll is. Are you guys? Well, Dollar Joe doesn't like world buffs. I think I don't. I think
more people that it's actually pretty slightly heavier on
world buffs, right? But at the same time, okay. Wow, most people don't like it, huh? Yeah, 64%. Look at that.
I would have liked to have seen the game without world buffs. That would have been a lot more interesting to me. It's not so much that world buffs are evil, I just think that it would have been a more interesting game without them, because it would have been more even playing field, and there would have been less of this weird meta stuff.
Well, could you say the same thing about consumables, though?
I mean,
if it's painful to get world buffs?
I don't think they add as much to a player.
Yeah, I don't think it's as much.
It's not.
It doesn't turn into a routine. It's like, well, just put them in your backpack and bring them, Like, who cares?
Yeah, we're talking like you could pop every DPS consumable on a warrior, and that's about equal to the head buff.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. They start becoming like almost multiplicative when you start getting so high.
Yeah.
When like your crit so high on your AP, and then it actually changes your itemization. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you hit crit cap, and you have to start
Yeah.
changing your gear. Yeah, I mean it's
maintaining the world buffs though, dude. Is that part of the skill of classic WoW though? At the same time, world buffs getting wiped or something can make or break guilds, dude. People get so angry, man, when they lose their world buffs. I'm telling you, dude. Like they will rage out. They will G quit. They will leave the raid.
I mean, in that sense,
I've had people do just straight up like DC. They die and then they DC, and you're like,
oh yeah,
like,
we've even had that too, and it's just like, okay. I mean, it's in that sense, it's perfect because that is classic, right? That is like the classic guild drama. World buffs brings that full tilt, so yay for that. It's the best.
I mean, I think that breaks a bit of the community aspect, though. If people get that bent out of shape over it. I mean, I've had moments where I've gotten seriously upset about losing them, and then there's you at the same time you're like, well, I'm not gonna leave, but if someone does leave, or then they start like getting pissed at the other members of their guild, it is a game. It is supposed to be fun, and it's fun to have those, but it's not fun to be so like bent out of shape because you're like spend all this time getting these things. Go to Dire Maul, get this, go to Darkman Fair, go grab your song fight, get the head, get the war chief, get all this stuff. And it's like you're spending hours of time to save, 20 minutes? To your actual clear time with or without them. Like, how much difference is it going to make? But still, it's just getting angry at each other. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into this speed clear, guys. This is probably going to be one of the most exciting things we do here today. So strap in. This is cool. We have a bunch of people here reviewing this, the world record speed run. Unless somebody can link me something faster than this. This is the world record right now at this point in time before BWO launches. And for those of you asking, once BWO does launch, we are going to be jumping into the player perspectives via their respective Twitch streams, and we will be just tabbing back and forth, trying to keep an eye on the different guilds as they make their way through Blackwing Lair. So without further ado, let us get into this. Here we go. Loading up. So you might have a little bit of delay. Do you guys want to load it up on your screens as well, and we can sync up and play? Because if you're watching it on the stream,
yeah, here, link it Discord.
Drop a link.
Just YouTube right now. Very low production value stream here. I don't know if just type in world record speed run BWL. It's going to be by Vanguard second tank POV. We'll try and get it so it's at like 15 seconds, and then we can start it all at 15 seconds together.
Yep. Wow, look, I've watched this video. I knew I recognized this video, absolutely. Alright, I'm ready to play when you guys...
Alright, get to 15. Let's all get there at the same point in time together, and we'll play it.
Funny enough, the first like 4 or 5 minutes of this, there's not going to be much to talk about, but that's okay.
Well, why is that? It's still killing Razorgore stuff.
Yeah, but Razorgore's kind of like an auto-scroller, you know?
You think so?
You can only do it so fast with the eggs.
That's it.
We'll go into that, though. Go into why it's an auto-scroller, though. Like, go into...
Well, so how the fight works is ads come out of each of the 4 corners, and one, maybe 2 players.
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's
Let's watch
the
ads come out of the...
Okay, well, it's going to go by so fast. That's the thing for each fight. So let's pause real quick. Just, okay, assume that everybody has never done BWL in their life. Put a 1 in the chat if you've never done BWL in your life. You never stepped in before. This is your first time. No shame here. Like, we're going to help everybody out here. We're going to just play this together and go through a real, like, the light and polite of Razorgore. Here we go. You start in BWL, this is what you're looking at. You're already at the boss, guys. Yeah. Look at all the ones. See? So many ones. So many ones.
Oh, wow.
Let's see. So sea of ones.
Wow.
An actual sea of ones. Look at all the ones. Never saw so many ones in my life. So...
I mean, I can do a quick explanation.
Yeah, give us the high, yeah.
So how this works is you kill the orcs up on this platform, and you right-click an orb to mind control the boss. You use the boss to break all of the eggs in the room. While that's happening, ads are going to be coming out of each of the 4 corners of the room. You just kill the ads while the person mind controls the boss. And then after you break all the eggs, you just kill the boss. And he does a couple of AoEs, and but it is like a fight of attrition.
Fight of attrition. So usually you break up in different groups, right? You can do a little sapper charge tempo play up on that platform. Some people talk about this fight though and say that this could break guilds right here, and that some people will say BWL is front loaded in terms of difficulty. So you don't think so? You think this is pretty brain dead, pretty easy?
In some ways, it is a little front loaded. Like the trash packs are going to be what gets you for a while down the line. It's not the bosses.
I mean, you have these gatekeepers, at the beginning of Razorgore and Vale, and we've all killed them, hundreds of times probably, and done the fight over and over and over, and we understand the mechanics, know what's happening. Now, look at reflective of chat, right? We just saw, as he said, a sea of ones. Like people haven't done this, or they've maybe done it on retail and they go in and they one-shot everything and kind of silly whatever. But you have all these people that don't have the experience with it. They don't, they're not familiar with all the mechanics. Yes, the information's there, but, and I'm not insulting anybody specifically, just saying, like, from a leadership standpoint, I literally have taken the guilds on the private servers all the way from, MC to Nax, and you can give them links, you can give them guides, you can give them videos. People don't watch the stuff, and you're like, oh, we should all know it. But they come in, they expect an explanation, and they expect to be able to just pick it up on the fly. There's going to be tough times for some of the guilds out there. I mean, the discussion today, again, is focused on World First, where these are the guys that are similar to us. They've all done it a bunch of times, but you still got to remember from like an average player perspective, where are they going to end up? And how is it going to be? And how are they going to manage? And I've discussed, I think, some of the first hang-up points on Razorgore. You're going to be looking at what are your points of contention. First thing is they're going to be mind exhaustion on the orb controller. So
mind exhaustion.
What that is,
what is that? Sorry.
I think that's what it's called. There's it was a debuff that you would control the orb, and after you controlled the orb, you would get this debuff that wouldn't allow you to control it again immediately. Where on the private servers, you could basically click right, it would drop, and then you could pick it up right again. So you're going to have to coordinate between 2 people. And one of the things that was troublesome back in the day was your connectivity and latency. So, like, I remember times, because I had done it back then, and I was actually playing on dial-up when we first started playing. So, like, you're trying to click the freaking orb, and you're like, click, like, 56K modem, like it's dialing in, And they would always be this thing where, like, sometimes you would get hit, or it would break early, or something like that. Or you might lose control, but for whatever variety of reasons, you'd have to have the other guy pick it up, and now you've got the debuff, and then there'd always end up being like a third person scrambling to get it. So you'd have some of those types of things going on. Now, the connectivity shouldn't be a problem now. And whether that debuff is going to be there or not, we don't know yet. And if it is, that's something people have to manage and be prepared for. As well, you're looking at the ability of the performance of the healers. Like, so you're in this egg break phase, and what you're going to have is are they going to be kiting the Dragonkin, or are they going to be killing them? I think the meta is going to be kill them for all the groups we're going to see tonight. But if that's not the case for other guilds because their healers aren't either keeping up with damage.
For a speed run though, right?
Yeah.
You were not going to kite stuff away, right? You're just going to cleave it all.
No,
down.
you're going to do it.
It doesn't matter. It's just about controlling the mobs because you just have to get the eggs. So eggs, then Razor Gore. That's a timed process. The mobs are inconsequential.
So from a speedrun perspective, I guess we're going to look at it in a second, guys. Last thing before we start, on this one boss. For the average semi-hardcore guild, I'm assuming most people are in semi-hardcore guilds. They're not like huge pumpers, but they pump from time to time. Now, out of 10, what the difficulty level of this first boss here for Razor Gore? Like, take off your big brain hat and put it down for a second, and just step into the semi-hard. I mean, you've been, What do you think?
Probably a 5, I think.
Yeah, assuming like decent MC gear and you're just playing like pretty normally, probably around like a 6 for me. That was an average guild.
Okay, 6 out of 10. That's it. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to switch over to presentation mode. You're going to see our ugly mugs. So you got
let me know when to start mine as well.
Okay, we're all at 15 seconds, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1, go.
So you just run in, blow up these ads, and
then you assume your positions.
Saw some sappers go out there too.
Definitely. Killing those ads, the person can just run up and click the orb, so really just blowing stuff on those ads is just for parsing. But if you do blow 5-minute cooldowns on those ads, they will be back up for the boss. Just a fun
From a speedrunning perspective, anything everybody except for Razor Gore killing eggs doesn't really do anything apart from keep the raid healthy, because just killing eggs now is the next step to killing the boss fast.
And something too about this too is the order in which they're doing the eggs by position is going to impact it as well, because if you start at one side of the room, you're wasting time traveling, so you want to get that egg break on cooldown, and start getting them in such a way, I think, where you're going to wind up running through the room and finishing the final egg in the position that you want the boss in when you're killing them. I think that's
the egg position there. It's not super important because there's still a really long timer for that. I don't remember how long it is, but it's like 10 seconds or something. So there is plenty of time to get from egg to egg.
But you want to get it on cooldown and make sure it's on cooldown.
Yes, as long as you want to be ready for sure. Don't want to.
And then again, if you're mining, because you see what he did there, he immediately popped the first egg and then went to the ones next to it, and now he's working his way across the room, and then he'll come back. Always making
so there we saw the debuff break. It might give you a debuff after you do the orb and your mind control breaks, because it only lasts for 90 seconds. If that happens, somebody else would have had to been there to click the orb.
I wonder continue the chain. Some of the add-ons because I'm sure all these top guild people are using not stock UI, so I wonder if they're going to have issues with their add-ons not liking pets. If they've thought about that,
that's something I've already considered, because I know I'm going to be doing.
Oh my god, where's the button?
I've already got my pet bars ready to go, and I've tested them.
Yeah, I've had that happen before, where I clicked it, I had to trade it off to somebody because of that. But making sure those are up, that's an important thing that's easily oversightable, particularly because tanks, if you have a tank doing which they're doing here,
they're not
have pet bars out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we just see, as I was talking about, this is kind of an auto-scroller, but you can't see the DPS, but I'm sure they're just absolutely tearing apart the ads that come out of the corners.
Now, when you say this is an auto-scroller, is this this fight number 1 that you can expedite in some way for a speed run, or you're pretty much set in time?
No, this is it. This is the fight.
As fast as you can go.
As fast as you go. You can be the biggest bumpers, doesn't matter. So
until the boss
standing there waiting for the mobs to come out.
You're waiting
until the boss is attackable. There isn't much in terms of
the boss has a cooldown for how fast he can kill eggs, and so you have to kill all the eggs, so that's just how fast you can kill eggs.
Another note though too is the boss has other abilities that you can use depending on how your guild is doing it. he can also sleep the Dragonkin when they come out. He has a sleep ability which can be used if you're using a different method where you're not killing everything, or if for some reason you're in a pinch you need to CC one of those dragons. The other thing too is he has an AoE like fireball volley that you can use to actually damage the mobs, which can be utilized from time to time, but you wouldn't want to use it when you're across the room from your DPSers if you're stacking them on one half of the room. But if you're doing the four corners and you're killing everything, you can still use that to just add a little extra damage to the mobs as well.
So there we saw that he actually did decide to swap off. This is, I believe this guy is going to be tanking this boss. So he doesn't want to have to go immediately from the mind control orb. He just wants to be on top of the boss, ready to go, and not lose any globals when the boss does get released.
And so, here's a question for you guys. What's your opinion on who should be the orb controller and who should be the final orb controller?
Well, there was a question of threat, actually, on private servers, there was a really large static amount of threat that you gained whenever he broke, and then it would reset if you mind controlled him again. So whoever has threat at the end, I guess he.
Okay, so we're getting ready for Ragnaros.
We're gonna let Sven get aggro, and then Russ say something.
Yes. Hello.
Russ is
I
gonna
love
tell
it.
us when to go in and go out. We go
No,
in.
you don't.
You guys like my chat
and
blocker, by the way?
When he says go out, we go right.
It's really good. I worked hard on this. I drew that.
Range, make sure you're spread in pairs, 2 together, and then 12 pairs.
Isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. It is too far away. It is too far away. I'm out of range. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
free to browse. A Shah Fela.
I can't carry anymore.
What brings you here? May the stars guide you. Good luck, friend.
Still recharging. I need to get closer. It is too far away. Still recharging.
Greetings. Farewell.
Ishnu Allah.
Inventory is full.
Be careful.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another World of Warcraft Classic Guide. My name is Cargos, and today I am going to do a comprehensive hunter leveling guide for World of Warcraft 1.12. As the saying goes, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, so that's what I'm doing. All my previous class leveling guides got taken down, which is really unfortunate, but that's okay, because I'm going to use this as an opportunity to just improve upon the guides and get them back out there for you. So we're doing Hunter today. I want to talk about the class as a whole, like the overview, the pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses, things like that. I want to talk about each stage of the game, each bracket, 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, so on and so forth. Go over tips and tricks, weapon progression, which is a really juicy thing that I added in this version of the guide. We can talk more about pets, and this is going to be a bit of a different format, so unfortunately I won't be able to demonstrate with in-game footage for you guys, but hopefully you can just use your imagination. So thank you for joining me. Let's get started. I love hunters. I love the hunter ethos. I've made hunter 3 times, once back during Retail Classic, again a second time during Nostalrius in 2015, and a third time most recently on Elysium's Zethkar. I love the class. I love the lore behind them. It really resonates with me. I love pet classes. I could go on and on about it, but I really do enjoy the Hunter class and would highly recommend playing one in Classic if you do so desire. So the pros and cons to Hunter leveling. They're the fastest levelers in the game. I mean, there's people like Journey, really amazing speed levelers that are able to get to 60 in under 3 days. Played apparently, just absolutely incredible efficiency. High damage, high sustain. Their pets tank all the damage. Low gear dependence, which is huge. Strung out in open world PvP. Multi-target proficiency, and a very important factor is you have movement boosting abilities and talents. So you get Aspect of the Cheetah at 20, your pet gets Bestial Swiftness, increasing its movement speed by 30%. This unlocks different tips and tricks you can do with your pet. And then you also have improved Aspect of the Cheetah to further increase that movement speed bonus. Some of the cons, there's not too many, but there's some annoying stuff when it comes to quality of life. Ammo and food dependence is kind of annoying, having to stay stocked up with that, and then because you have ammo and food, you're going to have reduced inventory space. You have a quiver, so that's a bit annoying. Probably the most annoying thing about leveling a hunter is the tames, man. The taming of the Nevos or Broken Tooth is really a pain in the butt. Even if you're ahead of the Zerg, somehow people are always out there. It's a frustrating thing, but it's worth it if you can get it done. Keeping pets up to date is a bit annoying, but that's about it. Before you start leveling, there's a couple things I want to stress. The first thing, and probably the most important thing, is you really should set up an auto-shot timer. So as a hunter, you have to get used to weaving both movement and abilities between cooldowns and your auto-shot timer. So your auto-shot is your bread and butter of your damage as a hunter. And having a timer just helps you monitor the natural flow of your damage, right? You shoot, then you have a cooldown based on your weapon speed, and you shoot again. And this allows you to not clip into it and miss damage, right? So it's really, really important, especially pre-level 10, because you don't have a pet that's going to tank for you. So you're effectively going to have to kind of kite the mobs and create as much space as possible. So definitely set that up. Yacht stands for Yet Another Hunter Timer. Rise Autoshot is also fantastic. It's highly likely that these won't work on the Classic demo, so I guess, if you don't have them, that's okay too. You can just practice in your head, just counting out the seconds manually. The second thing is do yourself a favor and set up quality of life binds that are optimized for leveling. This is one thing that I really can't stress enough. This is a marathon, man. You're not just gonna get 60 in a day, So do yourself a favor. Scroll up on your mouse wheel, scroll down, buttons on your mouse. Get some really comfy binds that you can really minimize your APM and mental energy in order to kill mobs. Very important in my mind. Then set up pet attack and recall macros. Bake your auto shot into your offensive abilities so you don't lose out on damage, stuff like that. The basics. So then we're gonna talk about life pre-level 10. So life pre-level 10, a lot of people think hunters are weak. I disagree. I think they're incredibly strong and efficient. You really use next to no health or mana. Your auto shot hits like a truck. Really good as long as you know how to kind of stutter step and shoot and make the most of your auto shot. You're really going to be in good shape. You should be able to get to level 10 under 2 hours. So pretty much you're going to want to engage the targets at max range. Apply Hunter's Mark. You want to start with an auto shot. Don't ever use an instant because you're just missing out on free damage. There is a 0.5 second cast time to your auto shot. If you think about it, you have to pull pull the arrow out of the quiver, cock it back, let it rip. So you don't want to miss out on that damage. So you do Hunter's Mark, engage max range with your auto shot. Then after that projectile leaves your hands, you're going to want to start strafing in a productive direction towards the next objective or towards the next area where you need to go. So right after that goes, while you're strafing, while your auto shot is cooling down, then you use your abilities. You hit him with a concussive shot or a serpent sting or an arcane shot. The rotation, as with many classes in vanilla, is going to be very dynamic. Don't just think it's a static thing. It's going to depend on a lot of different variables. If the mob is higher health, lower health, high armor, low armor, did you get a new badass recent rank of arcane shot or serpent sting? There's just a lot of factors to think about in your decision making. So, but generally speaking, you're going to want to, if the mob's going to survive for quite a bit of time, you're going to want to first hit it with concussive shot. You get it at level 8, so if it's before level 8, don't worry about concussive shot. Apply serpent sting, strafe, shoot, then apply arcane shot, and then I would start taking advantage of the 5-second mana regeneration rule. So I know you guys know this, 99% of you, but your mana only starts regenerating naturally in Classic WoW if you haven't cast anything for 5 seconds. So that's why all these mana users, they front load their damage and spells so they can take advantage of that regeneration and have higher sustain. The other things, pre-level 10, is you want to upgrade your bow at the vendors. Some of the best speed levelers I've talked to, Gil Nash and Tribe and people like Journey and stuff, they realize how viable it is. A lot of people just think it's a waste of money, but I definitely do it, especially at level 3, upgrading to that. I think it's Hornwood recurve bow at the Bowyer. Level 11, you get another upgrade. Even a lot of the vendors, they have just BOE greens. This is going to be more important for like a warrior, but for hunters, it's still pretty nice. But at the same time, don't overdo it, because there's a lot of people out there that will overdo it. Then every 2 levels, they're obsessing with getting a new upgrade. It doesn't move the needle that much. It maybe shaves a second or 2 off your kill times. And at this stage, train all skills, even the train beast. It's like 10 copper, so I guess whatever, get it.
What brings you here?
Yeah, so that's going to be it. You're going to create as much space as possible. Shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot, move. You get it. So then you get your pet. You have to level 10. You do your class quest. It's kind of obnoxious. Then you're going to get your pet. So you're going to choose an optimal pet. We'll get into that in a second. You're going to load up on ample food. You got to upgrade your ammo. At level 10 is the first time you can upgrade your ammo. You can upgrade your bow again at a vendor. I think the vendor one is level 11, but there's a couple quests around this range too that you can get to upgrade it. Which we'll get into later. Upgrade your ammo, upgrade your bags if at all possible, if the money permits. It probably won't at this stage of the game, but having extra bag space is very, very nice. Buy all skills minus track humanoids. So all about pets. So pets in vanilla are balanced around 10% stat modifiers to damage, armor, and health. So the range is from negative 10% up to 10%. So each species, like raptor, scorpion, spider, tall strider, turtle, all this, they have a different stat profile. So they're going to give you, there's different pros and cons, right? There's different pros and cons. There's a huge camp of people that think getting an owl is the best because they have pretty good stats. They also have Screech, which deals a small amount of damage and applies a AoE attack power reduction, I believe. So the consensus amongst most hunters I've talked with are that if you're a night elf hunter, you want to go ahead and grab an owl and try and maintain that owl. If you were an orc or a troll, grab a pet with a rank 2 focus dump. You're going to want to prioritize getting higher ranks of your pet focus dump. So that's bite, claw, things like that. You're going to want to, there's a good website, I think it's on the next slide I put in. Yeah, Companion Codex, where you can go and research all the ability progression for those. But make sure the most important thing is you do get a pet with a focus dump. You don't want to just be stuck with a pet with no focus dump. That's going to be just strictly worse for you. So yes, level 2 focus dump pets, here we go. Here's a listing of claw, gore, bite, things like that. Okay, so as far as talent progression, I will tab out to this other screen now and take you through my my ideal build here. This is something that not everyone may agree with, but this has worked for me, and I've leveled a bunch of hunters over the years. So let us get started. Our first talent point we're going to put into improved aspect of the hawk, and we're just going to leave it like that. The 5% proc, is good, but for 5 points to me, it's not super worth it. I'd rather just put 1 point in it. 1% is still going to proc, and the difference between the 5% and the 1% isn't worth the 4 points for me. So I put 1 into improved aspect of the hawk. This is still going to be with you, a mechanic that you're going to have all the way to 60. I think that's definitely worth 1 point. But then I go 4 into endurance training. Then I go right into improved revive pet. So I can't stress the importance of improved revive pet. You may think you're a badass hunter and that, you know, it's easy mode leveling, but you will run into sticky situations in vanilla. You will get value from this. So what this is going to do, it's going to take your 10-second revive pet ability and turn it into a 4-second cast as opposed to a 10-second cast. It's also going to reduce the mana cost by 40% and increase the health your pet returns with by an additional 30%. So this is going to allow you to revive your pet in combat. If something bad happens, you can apply a wing clip to the mob, run away, revive your pet, and you're good to go. You're going to suffer without this, so just please trust me, guys. Get improved revive pet as soon as possible. So then after improved revive pet, we are going to go into thick hide, 10% a point in our 4-second cap. Improved aspect of the hawk. So yes, level 2 focused on pets. Here we go. Search all the ability progression for those, but make sure the most important thing is you do get a pet with a focus dump. You don't want to just be stuck with like a pet with no focus dump. That's going to be just strictly worse for you. So yes, level 2 focused on pets. Here we go. Here's a listing of claw, gore, bite, things like that. Okay, so as far as talent progression, I will tab out to this other screen now and take you through my my ideal build here. This is something that not everyone may agree with, but this has worked for me, and I've leveled a bunch of hunters over the years. So let us get started. Our first talent point we're gonna put into improved aspect of the hawk, and we're just gonna leave it like that.
I need to get closer.
Ishnuala. May the stars guide you. Good luck, friend.
You are too kind. Hello.
Good luck, friend.
Still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
Elun Adore. Farewell.
I'm listening. Farewell.
Still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. It is too far away.
What brings you here? Good luck, friend.
My goods are of the highest quality. Go in peace. Peace be with you. Shafela.
Alone be praised.
Till we meet again. Greetings. Goddess watch over you. brings you here? Ashafela.
I am listening. Dear Paladins.
How may I help? What brings you here? Farewell. Ishnu Allah. Be careful.
Greetings. How may I help? Ishnu Del Diab. Asha Fela.
I am honored. Goddess watch over you.
is the coolest shield in the game. What's cooler than this shield?
Sub-
Car door.
It's
Sub
a pretty
10
good
minutes.
one. It's a pretty good one.
About 10 minutes. There we go.
10
Another
minutes.
visually
8
shiny.
minutes. Yeah.
Visually shiny. You get that Ascandi greatsword. That's a visually shiny.
Oh,
right
Ass
there.
Candy. We'll check out. Yeah, we'll check out Ass Candy.
Feel bad for all the orcs that have to use Cruel Shuruk for the next year.
What do you mean? Explain. Cool. What is it?
It's so ugly.
What is it called again?
Cruel Shuruk. It's the axe off Nefarian. It's a great axe.
Can
It's
I buy
really,
a?
really
Can I
top
buy a
tier
spelling?
for-
Spell it for me if you can.
CRUL''SH.
There we go.
Should pop up.
Cool chaos. Nice. Let's see it. Doesn't look bad.
Spelling and reading.
You think this looks bad?
I think it's ugly. I don't know, man.
Chad, do you think this looks bad? This looks like from TBC. The enhancement shamans used to have this. It looked like that.
That's not bad at all, man.
Dude, this looks fire. I'd be happy to have this. Look at this.
That's just me, I guess.
It's your paladin. It's your paladin sensibilities, man. It doesn't look.
Yeah,
very
that
noble.
doesn't look like a paladin weapon.
Dude, remember TBC with the enhancement shamans when they kind of slapped and they had like two things that look like this, summoning the feral spirits. Oh yeah. Cruel
big.
Shrock. 13 stam, dude. This looks like a slapper right here, dude. Unique.
It's not bad.
Okay, hit me with another one.
Another good visual item.
Yeah, another good visual item. Something sexy, dude.
Man, I'll switch it up actually. Of just